We have a solution. The Whine No Whine Show, where you can be friended and offended all in the same hour, where we gather people from all different walks of life and perspectives, and we talk about everything that everyone has told you not to. Religion, politics, and everything under the sun. Nothing is off limits, and we do it all over a glass of wine. So grab a glass and join us as we save America, one civil conversation at a time.
3, 2, 1, action!
Here we go. Welcome, 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 Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Periscope, all the crazy places that we are. The host of the show forgot to mute his phone because he's a moron. We won't hold that against him because he's incredibly handsome. Welcome to the Whine No Whine Show, the only show where you can be friended and offended all in the same doggone hour. That's right, America, we have a problem. You know what I'm talking about. It's the zero to Nazi effect. What's that, Joe? I'm glad you asked.
Who said
What's that, Joe?
What
That
do
is
you
it.
mean?
That is in any given conversation when there's a disagreement. It's the length of time it takes to go from zero to you're a Nazi. I will now punch you in the face and go outside and set fire to your car. Because that's how we roll these days when we disagree. Well, we're trying to fix that here on the show. We've got a nifty little idea. We get people liquored up and then make them talk about really hard subjects. What could go wrong? Yeah. So we're going to enjoy a good glass of wine together, and we're going to talk about a really tough subject today, and the subject is a doozy. I'm going to introduce it in a second here, but before I jump into it, I'm just going to tell you real quick what we're enjoying on the show today is a Bright Willow Winery Sauvignon Blanc, and this wine is from central France. It's a light straw color in the glass with crisp aromas of lemon, green apple, mixed citrus, and the aromas pay off on the palate with refreshing acidity, delicate fruit notes. So, we're going to pour a glass, already poured a glass. We're going to drink the glass.
Shoot
it. And at the end of the shoot! At the end of the show, we're going to rate the wine, and then tomorrow I'll post up a picture on our Instagram channel, which you should follow us on, by the way, the Whine No Whine Show over on Instagram. And for those that are watching on YouTube or want to watch on YouTube, it is the Whine No Whine Show on YouTube. Pretty much type that anywhere and you'll find it. And I'm going to post up on Instagram a picture of the wine and let you guys know what the rating was, a little bit of a description and that sort of thing, and we'll see how it goes. All right, today's subject, it's a doozy. Everybody's familiar with the Colin Kaepernick situation. We know what's been going on with that, and you know, that's certainly a contentious subject. But to throw gas on the fire, so to speak, Nike has come along and decided to use Colin as a marketing campaign. They're taking his stance and saying that this was a sacrifice he made for something that he believed in, and they're using that as a, you know, just do it kind of a, you know, mindset. That's been Nike's marketing campaign in the past, and so they're using that to say if you're going to do something, just go all in and do it. And they've come up with a pretty cool video and have a bunch of famous people that have been athletes and whatnot who are really, you know, have been recognized at the top of their game, and they're saying these are people of examples that who have just really went all in. They've went for it. They've sacrificed everything to be where they are in life, and just do that, right? That's what their message is. So the question is this really brilliant target marketed concept of Nike's just a win, home run, knocked it out of the park? Or is it just a tragic, obtuse, completely oblivious to the market, and they're going to tank, and it's going to cost them billions? Or is it something else? Is it somewhere in between? Does it even matter? Is the public even going to notice? What are your thoughts about that? Share your thoughts, share your comments, and as we go into the break, towards the halfway point in the show, comments are going to be thrown up on the screen from our production crew, and we're going to respond to your comments. You guys are as much a part of the show as the people on the show. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our illustrious panel of guests here and let them introduce themselves, give their shameless plugs, and we're going to dive into the subject. So, Steve.
Me first? Hey, okay, great.
I thought I'd surprise you.
Oh,
I always go to the left side of the
such a
panel
surprise.
first. Yeah. But
Well,
I think, didn't he normally sit over here?
I usually sit
in the old
left.
studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, as I think about it.
But now I'm on the right side.
No,
of the
that's
aisle.
actually where he was. He was
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Over there?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I float, you know, all over the place. No,
That was a great impression of a parade balloon. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I was doing my Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, Ghostbusters, die! Anyway, no, my name is Steve Williams, and I guess you can say original, oldest, youngest, newest, everything about a grape head, but we're afraid to ask. That's what I represent in the show, and I've been here for quite some time. I took a long hiatus over the summer. I had some health issues and things like that, but we're getting that corrected, and I still need a kidney. So if you've got a spare kidney, help a brother out. That's all I got to say. That's my shameless plug.
Yeah.
That's heavy duty.
Because when you just randomly grab somebody and leave them in a tub of ice in a hotel, and they turn out to be not a match, that is an awkward situation.
And we tried that, didn't work.
Right. I mean, I wasn't gonna.
They were kind of.
I wasn't gonna say it was us that tried it, Steve. I mean, wait.
Yeah.
Brilliant. No.
Knock, 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 knock. Here it comes.
And we definitely weren't going to say that you've tried 4 times.
Yeah.
We weren't gonna mention that at all. Yeah.
They started moving in the tub, and they were like, I can't do this.
Turns out that whole match thing is a lot harder than you think.
I know. It's crazy.
So just go by the hospital and actually get tested first. So
Methodist Hospital here in
easier.
Houston and UTMB down in Galveston are my networks. So if you're interested in looking into this, it's a very interesting program. By the end of this, I could almost take a medical exam and put a doctor in front of my name. So Dr. Steve Williams could probably be my title soon. So, yeah.
I can go with that.
Yeah.
Dr. Death. Steve
Dr.
Williams.
Death. Dr. Deathy. Golly, I can't believe you remember that.
Of course I remember that. That's one of my favorite wrestlers when I was a kid, man.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Dr. Death.
all
No
right.
capes.
Brittany.
I'm Brittany Booker. I'm a licensed esthetician at Peel Palace. We customize in chemical peels that are customized to each client's skin type, so y'all should come on by. I'd like to say hi to my son Jacob. I love you.
What's
I know
up,
you're
Jacob?
watching.
Raise the house. Sorry.
That's all I got.
Lord help us.
All right. Joe.
My name is Joseph. I don't have any information to give you guys.
Never has, never will.
Never have, never will. Go
You're
ahead.
welcome.
He
You're
is
welcome.
a realtor. For those of you out there that insist on adding an A, he is not a realtor.
Yeah, yeah.
However, David is a biller.
Billiter. I was.
Was a
Was a
biller.
builder.
Yeah, was a biller.
I'm in construction now.
Yeah, yeah. Construction.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm in
Construction.
construction.
I have to say, every
It-
time,
it's just.
I got to
it's
plant
just-
this seed.
It's just an A randomly in the middle of words.
Every
Just-
time Joseph talks, you ever seen the comedian Joe Coy? You
Yeah.
ever seen
Oh,
him?
the Filipino guy?
He's hilarious, right? And I always hear Joe's mom, right? Joseph?
Joseph. Yeah, Joseph.
Joseph?
Joseph?
Yeah.
So anyway, there's a seed that we can all go to for the rest of the show. Hi, I'm David Pipkin, returning Grapehead, right there at the beginning with Steve, although he was just, a day and a half ahead of me, something like that. We
Yes.
are the original Grapeheads, and very honored to be a part of the show once again. Thanks for having me. I had to crash this party to get on, but, I made it. Kudos to our first-time guest, Brittany.
Yay,
The rest of us are old codgers here. We've
Thank
been
you
on a
for
few
having
times.
me.
My shameless plug, as per normal. Like that? That's my Texan accent.
Normal. That sounds very
I
French.
don't know what it is.
Normal.
It's not
Texan is a
Texan.
mixture.
We
of
are
all
drinking a
kinds of
French wine, so.
stuff. Yeah, that was my best effort at it.
Excuse me. I'm gonna
Constitution
lift my
Party,
pinky.
folks. I'm the Constitution Party coordinator for Harris County. We are building membership. This is the time to do it, because by the time you wait until the corrupt duopoly has offered up their choice of the lesser of two evils, at that point you're just kind of picking off the menu. So wouldn't it be kind of a smart idea maybe to have a say about what goes on the menu, right? Come on over to the Constitution Party. Let us talk about what's going on, what we're all about. Imagine a party that actually is beholden to the principles of the Constitution, where you could have a choice of true constitutionists rather than try to play the shell game of hide the conservative, right? So come talk to us about that. You can message me at the page, Constitution Party of Texas - Harris County, or just send a message here to the Wine No Wine Show. Joe will make sure that I get the message.
True enough. All right. So now the
Constitution is racist, bro.
Okay, we just
That
changed
wasn't
topics.
loud enough. You got to say
The
it to the
Constitution is racist. By
We
the
just
way.
changed topics right now. Thank you, Joseph.
According to some people,
Thank you, Joseph.
not me, of course. I was saying that for.
Our new guest just walked in. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, can I say something?
By the way,
No.
sorry, I have to.
Moderator.
This is
I have to
this
cut
is
you
an
off.
honest to God true story, Joe.
Okay, hang on,
All right.
because I'll forget if I don't do this.
All right.
By the way, we are broadcasting live from the Grain Cellar in glorious downtown Humble, Texas. The Grain Cellar, yeah, their little logo there. Show them, yeah, show them. Everything fermented, which is actually a really, really cool little shop, guys. If you've ever wanted to know how to brew beer, if you've wanted ever know how to make your
Snapshot.
own wine, these guys are the bomb. They'll teach you, they'll show you. They do classes. They've got all the stuff. You can buy all of the best grains and hops and whatnot. They've got it all here. So be sure to come on over to the store, check it out. And if you want to watch the show live, come on down. We've got wine. They've got little sample beers going on. And you can pull up a chair and watch the show live. Pop by the store in Humble. That's the Grain Cellar, 241.
Beautiful
West-
downtown Humble,
240. I thought it was
Humble
240.
Texas.
I think it's 241.
Humble.
Is it?
240 first.
Well, that's
first
240. Oh, yeah, you're right. 240. Yeah, 240 First
Right
Street.
next to Shamrock.
Right next door to Shamrocks in Humble. So pop on in. All right, guys.
It's a little crowded
So,
right now. We got about 125, 150 people in here right now. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. So,
and they're well behaved.
very well.
Yeah.
You, sir, in the back. Yes, you.
You're cut off.
Stop doing
That's
that.
it. Quit talking to her. She's married.
Leave the dog alone.
Cats.
All right. Yes. So, thoughts. What is your position on this? We had a snort on the show. First snort warning.
That was him.
First snort warning.
I get
have a
this
problem
first snort
with
of the
that.
day award.
Snorting?
Yes.
I do it all the time. It's okay.
It's bad.
What y'all's thoughts on this? Let's jump in. I'm gonna turn it over to you, Steve. To David. I'm going to the opposite side of the room here.
Oh, we're bouncing this way.
Yep. So Nike, this is their big marketing campaign now. Smart move, or they got it really dialed in. Is this something that they've really done their homework on and said, this is a brilliant move for us. We know who our demographic is. We're going to align on this. Is it purely a marketing ploy? Or is it, Nike all of a sudden, no more child labor, slave labor? We're going to, sorry, that was a jab at Nike. Sorry about that. We're going to take a social stance. We're going to have a social backbone here, and we're going to take a stand on something really important. Or was it just, hey, this sounds like a good idea. Let's do this, boys. What y'all think? Woohoo! Let's go. And completely obtuse from the market feedback, or somewhere in between. I mean, what's your thoughts on it?
So this is one of those topics. It really, because the question is great in and of itself. It is a great question because it is about marketing. And as we talked about just before the show, because we don't know what we're going to talk about until we get here. But, clearly everybody's talking. I mean, the word Nike is coming out of people's mouths right and left right now. I'm no marketing expert, but I can't imagine that this was a move that they were trying to reach as broad of an audience as possible. I think anyone in business understands that when you take a political stand, let alone one that's controversial, you're running the risk of alienating at least half your audience. And I do think there's an element among those the people who call themselves conservative, if you will, that this is going to be the death of Nike, right? Because the outrage that they feel over this stand is going to mean they get driven down to the ground and they will be no more. And I have to say, I find that hard to believe, but it definitely is going to drive a wedge. I can't see it as genius if the goal was to grow the customer base.
Right.
Now, if their goal was to take a stand, then I got to go the opposite side. Genius. Everybody's talking about it. They took a stand. As someone who cares deeply about truth, I resent the stand they took. But, we're all talking about it, aren't we?
Absolutely, we are.
I was right at 59 seconds, 0.8. 59.8 seconds is what you
That was impressive. It was impressive. Joe.
Internal clock.
Well, I want to know how the sales were doing before this happened, before this all started. If you want to say, hey, well, they want to get people talking about it. Well, were they on the downhill? Because if they were, maybe they were getting desperate, which I doubt they were. They've been around for a long time.
Could be the other way. Maybe they had too many sales and they're going, we're running out of material to make our shoes.
Right?
We
So
cut this customer
it's
base
kind of like
down.
I think they were just doing what everybody else does. They feel like they're standing for something, and I feel like nowadays people don't really have anything to stand for anymore because this is the U.S. and we're all freaking equal now. That people just want to find something to stand for. So they said, hey, let's do it because at the end of the day, somebody had to make the decision to say, okay, let's shoot this out here. He's still a human. You know what I mean? So maybe he was like, maybe he's I feel bad for him. Maybe he was a liberal. You know what I mean? Because, liberalism is a mental disorder. Nowadays, it's classified as such. I don't know.
And we just lost our liberal side of the audience.
Check WebMD. It's on
I don't know
there.
that, or they may be flocking to the page. Maybe that's the whole thing.
But
It's
so
in the-
anyway,
it's in the
I think-
DSM-5
I think
is what
I think
you're
I
saying.
think they're just trying to be different, and why be different? You were doing fine, and you know what? I don't care what you guys do. I don't buy Nike because they're too expensive. It's stupid. They're shoes. They're gonna be gone in 6 months. That's my take on it. I really don't care.
Getting more expensive now. They got to pay Kaepernick.
Now you gotta pay Kaepernick. And then they're gonna raise the price on the shoes now because they lost so many sales, right?
I'll say
Yeah, that's
that
I think they lost sales.
Vans hasn't put me on the payroll yet, but I gotta say these things have lasted forever. I need to clean the bottom. I didn't want to show them. They're not.
Check these puppies out right here.
Are those Vans?
No, they're
Oh,
polo, and they didn't come with shoelaces.
You got Nike socks on.
You had to buy.
Look
Oh,
at
look at
that.
that! Oh my God, Joe.
Well,
You
apparently-
hypocrite.
Oh yeah, he
Apparently-
doesn't care.
I don't buy
First
Nike shoes.
of all, you know where I got these? At a freaking what's that?
Flea
what's that-
market?
Secondhand
You get them
store.
at a
No,
flea
no, no.
market?
What is that place called? They just closed down on 45, and my friend texted me one day, and he said, "Man, they're closing down." I got so many shirts and everything for the cheapest price ever. This is where I got these things. Apparently, I'm supposed to burn them.
I never would have guessed that.
Apparently, I'm supposed to burn them, but who would
That
burn
was
a
me.
good pair of socks? You know,
I think you should just cut out the logo on your sock.
right?
Yeah.
I probably should. Yeah.
Just cut the logo out on your sock.
There'd be a swoosh-shaped hole in everybody's socks.
No, even better idea. Even better idea. Take an a Sharpie and just black out that square.
Just a square.
Yeah, and so you just have a black square on your sock.
And then put Trump 2020 right there. That hurt your feelings.
Oh,
I
wow.
think that hurt your feelings. I hit a nerve.
I'm offended.
Hey, you know what? just write an O and an E next to the swoosh and just make it Joe, like you got your own designer socks.
That's right. That's a
you
good
go.
idea.
Why are you putting ideas like that?
That's
against
a damn
me?
good idea.
Hey,
Dangerous.
hey,
Hold on. Speaking of
everybody who owns
We
Nike,
could just leave them the same.
as a
After
sign of
this.
support for the
I still
show,
like that.
I want you to take your swoosh and write an OE next to it to support Joe.
this, and I will donate
And
it.
and
I
the
will
host of
donate
the
it.
Wine No Wine Show.
I will donate it.
Solidarity, my brothers.
I will donate it to Planned Parenthood. Right?
Can we turn the swoosh into
Is
a
that,
W?
is that what we're doing now?
Wow. Wow. All right.
Anyway.
I'm just gonna go ahead and move on.
Brittany,
Brittany,
save us. Please save
Oh,
us.
no.
How do you follow that?
I'm
I'll
not
help you
quite
if you
sure.
need help. Just
I still
You
have
might
a
have to
story that I
help.
wanted to tell like 10
rib
minutes
me.
ago. It's good. Oh, I'm going to tell the story. That's for sure. Anyway,
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, I love Nike, so I'm still gonna buy Nike. I think they used the wrong person to get more sales to promote Nike. It's not exactly ideal. They probably should have used like J.J. Watt.
Oh, I was just thinking of that.
He's
Yeah.
got everything. He might as well be thrown into Nike.
Yeah, but he's white though, so they can't use
Yeah,
him.
that's the good point. What
Well-
do you say to people who say that's racist, that you would even substitute a white guy for the black guy?
It has nothing to do with race.
It does.
That really doesn't matter.
To me,
It
it
does.
has nothing to do with
But
race.
Just the very-
that's a narrative that's
Just
that's
the
going
It
very
does to the
fact
media,
that you
yes.
made the suggestion,
That's
That's
racism.
right.
you're right.
will be seen as racist.
Doesn't
Yes.
matter now.
Exactly.
Well, I already said it, so
you're a racist.
label me.
So you're a racist.
Oh God, no.
Well, that's one of the
Just the fact that you're denying it
Yeah.
makes you a
Yeah,
racist.
that's right.
Goodness.
Well, that's one of the themes.
Just because.
All
like-
this proof! Oh my gosh,
way,
I had no idea. I was sitting
Shameless
beside-
plug for the Wine No Wine Show group page.
Yes.
Right? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's where all this discussion continues to go on. But that is one of the running narratives that's been going on about this whole Kaepernick thing, is that, all these white conservative racists who are all angry and upset because, it's Kaepernick. And, there's been a big move. A lot of people want to put Pat Tillman. And, they said that would have been a better choice because if we're talking
'Cause he played in the
sacrifice,
NFL.
yeah, that would have been a better choice.
And he went to
and the
war.
narrative against those people is to say
And
you're
died.
you're racist, right?
Oh.
Oh, is that the guy? Okay.
Pat Tillman played in the NFL. He was in the Army. He was Special Forces, and he was also vocally against the war, which is what the other people on the left try to bring up in that conversation. Is that he would have been kneeling with Kaepernick? It's really kind of a moot point. The idea is that he left the NFL to join the Army to fight in something that he believed at the time when he joined was the right thing to do.
Right.
Whether afterwards or not, he says, turns out this was not something I agree with or not, is really kind of a moot point in the whole conversation. It's that he was willing, his character said, I will leave professional football and a very lucrative lifestyle to
Millions.
join
Yeah.
the military and
That's a
fight.
sacrifice.
Yeah, and that's what the people on the right are saying. That's an example of a sacrifice. But to leave or to have a job left for you, and not be rehired and there's a kind of debate around. I'm not a football guy at all, but to say that it was a cut and dry, he was fired because of his stance, it would be wrong. It's not a real sacrifice, and the very fact that he got a nice big contract with Nike for his stance kind of furthers the argument that this is really not a sacrifice. Like, what did you sacrifice?
Yeah. What was lost and what was gained?
Yeah. So I mean,
Even prior
not
to the game.
that he did it saying I'm going to get sponsorship dollars out of this.
Right.
Right. I mean, so I don't want to demean that aspect. Because I mean, in all honesty, as a few of you guys know, I took a stance of coming out in support of Colin Kaepernick early on, in saying that I respect the idea that this is a young guy that has a platform that he genuinely believes, whether I agree or not, doesn't matter. He genuinely believes that there's an issue, and he's trying to use his platform in the best way he knows how to bring light to the subject. And he brought light to the subject. Whether, again, we agree or not, doesn't matter. He brought attention to it. And in that sense, I can very much respect what he did, right? Whether I agree or not, and whether I agree with his methodology or not, doesn't matter. But that's neither here nor there, because the subject is
Well,
back
that's-
to Nike.
Yeah, I was going to bring it back because the point of that is that
Steve has got to give his 1 minute chime in.
oh, he
but-
didn't. I thought
No,
he was
no,
the
go
first.
ahead.
I thought he was the first that did it.
No.
See, that's racism.
I apologize. I thought you did first. My fault. Go.
That's
So
racism.
Steve, real quick, give us your bullet point, and then we'll dive in even more, because I kind of forgot as well.
Yeah.
And we haven't even been drinking. This is literally the first glass. So
No, I've been drinking since 12, Joe.
I wish I could explain. I wish I could say that explains a lot, but I know better.
Go ahead, Steve. Steve, we're waiting on you.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I have to honestly say that the narrative has been out there since it hit the ground earlier this week, and that a few days prior, I happen to have a very close friend whose husband, they live up in Seattle. He is a senior executive vice president in Nike, in the
dang.
Nike organization. And that they were making noises about this for about, I think everybody was kind of keeping their nose to the grindstone and listening for this to come out. This has been going on for about a month and a half. And that when it finally broke, the friend of mine who's up in Seattle, he has been, being a senior executive vice president in the marketing area for Nike, he has now been looking for other venues to apply his trade. Marketing is a very general general subject that you can apply it to wine, anything you can really think that you can market. So the fact that he is exiting Nike or intending to exit Nike says a lot. Within 24 hours of this blowing down through the masses, Nike lost over $4 billion in stock value. Not so much in sales, but everybody just devalued that stock because of this one move. I'm not even going to give the guy's name any credit from my lips. I think it was a bad move. I think it was unnecessary. And they could have found a great many people to apply that slogan that they've been working on. Who can we tag this with? Who can we suck in to be a spokesperson for this particular ad campaign? They could have picked anybody else but the person that they picked. And we would not be having this conversation right now. That's a fact.
That's fact.
So that's the impact. Wow.
Agreed.
So I was going to tie it back to that question because that's the thing. It's difficult not to get lost in the weeds on the subject of what Kaepernick is about, right? Because that's what drives so much of the sentiment and animosity against the stand that's being taken is and that's the point. Truth in advertising matters, and I think a great deal of the outrage that people express, and I know what I personally feel about this choice by Nike. And again, they have their right to pick who they want to pick. But Joe, you mentioned that Kaepernick is taking a stand and he's believing in something, but it goes beyond that because there's an insidious nature to what the narrative is when the guy shows up on the football field wearing socks that have cops depicted as pigs on it.
And that was way before any of this went down. Before he exited the NFL.
That's right. And so that speaks to, I mean, he's promoting this really radical narrative that and I'm not going to get lost in the weeds on the issue. Let's just say that it's very safe to say that there's a great deal of question about whether this whole Black Lives Matter narrative has any merit of truth with regard to police targeting black people and this mass and epidemic of police shooting black kids. Because that's what all this started from, was his promotion of the Black Lives Matter narrative. And so that's the nature of this, is that, as we talked about earlier, truth in advertising. First truth, did he sacrifice? And that's what's going through the minds. That's the questions going through the minds of a lot of people. What is this sham you're trying to pull on us, trying to put this person out there as someone who represents sacrifice? And then second of all, it's the narrative he represents. Because, speaking for myself, people are getting killed. Black people are getting killed. White people are getting killed. People of all races are getting killed. Police officers are pulling back on their patrols. They're not patrolling the high crime areas as much anymore. They're only doing what's required of them. And the result is violent crime is increasing in those communities. And there's a great deal of evidence to that effect. Again, I'm not trying to go into all this to debate that topic. It ties back to the marketing strategy of taking such a controversial subject that is so at question at best, to put it in the best possible light. There is a great question about that narrative, and to make an icon, and that's what's happening. I mean, I would not be surprised, I hate to say this, I know this show goes out far and wide, I don't want to plant any seeds or any ideas, but don't be surprised if we see a Colin Kaepernick run for the presidency in 2024 or 2028 or something like that, or maybe down the road.
Well, I have to agree with real quick, because I know you got to do something here. I think so. But I have to agree with Steve right now with this. Out of all the people, all the choices you could have made, you choose this guy, and I'm not saying because he doesn't stand for the flag or anything like that. I don't even watch football. To me, football is not even a real sport. It's a fake sport. I mean, you're wearing all this stuff. That's beside the point.
No.
But anyway, it's not a real sport.
Topic just changed again.
It's a fake
Let's
sport.
debate.
They wear enough armor to get hit by a car going 45 miles an hour. It's not, and they get a minute and a
Put that
half
to the
break
test.
every 8 seconds. It's a fake sport. Anyway.
I'm not a sports
Suit
guy.
up.
I will. I mean,
I'm not a
hey,
sports guy, but I gotta say, if I'm gonna give anybody the props for just sheer warrior status on the field, it's rugby.
Yeah.
Rugby is a real sport.
Rugby
That's
is-
a real
No,
sport.
no. That is just kill the man with the ball.
That's a
That's
real
what I'm
sport.
saying.
That's
I'm
a
like-
real sport.
No
Rugby,
pads.
Yeah,
rugby,
it's
rugby is a real
American
sport.
football without pads.
Yeah.
Rugby, I'm sure all the rugby people, they look at American football and they laugh. It's
Yeah.
a joke.
Hockey's a close second, though.
Hockey,
Yeah.
they let them fight. That's
Yeah.
a
I mean, I don't care how many pads you're wearing. You fall on that ice, there's no give.
Exactly.
Well, look, we've got a
Hockey's
we've
fun.
we've
Well, hold on,
got
so okay, let me finish real quick. 5 seconds.
all right. Well,
Sorry.
we got a break coming up. I'm gonna let Joe
Okay.
finish.
So I agree
But I'm
with
saying
Steve.
we have a break come up out loud and very loudly so that our production crew is ready for that.
Okay, so yeah, I
so
just
go
want to
ahead.
agree with Steve. Yeah, they could have chosen anybody to do this, and they wanted to choose a guy who's basically a chump, in my words, because he's feeling sorry for himself because he can't throw a damn football. That's it. End of story.
All right. All right.
Wait till we get him out of a shell.
So guys,
I'll wait till he tells us what
when
he
we
really
come
thinks.
back from break, we're going to be
I do have a
playing.
story I've been wanting to tell you guys. There's a lady that came in here.
All right, hold up.
Oh, sorry.
Good Lord.
Sorry.
He just breaks into a story over here.
Where's your
Oh, are we still on? I thought it was a break.
No, I'm talking to the camera,
Oh,
Joe.
sorry.
That's
Gosh,
the cameras right here.
I swear.
Here.
Some people.
Well, last time I was a commercial.
Gosh. When we come back, I know. Cut his pay. Cut his pay.
That's just
Yes.
cut him off.
for you.
Yes. Yes. Half wine rations and 2 slices of pizza max.
Don't turn his camera
2
off.
slices
That's
of
all I'm
pizza
saying. Don't
max.
turn his camera off.
There's a
Do
2
not teach him how to make cheese.
There's a 2
That's only
slice
for-
of pizza maximum for Joe. I'm just
All
saying.
right, all right, let's
all
go.
right.
All right, let's
All right. So look, we're going to be playing the ever new fun game, Fact or Fiction, on the Wine to Wine show. When we come back, where I ask the guest on the show a random question, trivia, if you will, and they have to determine whether that question is fact or fiction. Last man standing wins this ginormous trophy over here on the side, which you get to find out what the trophy is. But
No peeking.
no peeking.
Oh, okay.
Right. But I want you guys
Sorry, I already did.
I want you guys to play along. So go to the page, the Wine to Wine Show page, pull up Messenger, and as we are answering, you chime in as well. I want you guys to get used to doing that because I'm going to be announcing a contest with a big cash prize for Christmas for the winner in the Messenger feed. And so we're just starting to get practiced up with that.
It's a great idea because it has a timestamp. So
Yes.
we know when you
It's
answer.
time stamped, so we know when you answered. So you have to answer before the timestamp ends on the last question with the winner. So you have to have all the right answers up to the point where the winner
Look at Joe.
answered. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
And we're gonna do a big cash prize giveaway in December.
Make me
So just kind
nervous,
of
that's
work out the issues now and make sure you got it down because we're gonna be entering people who win for the drawing. So we're gonna go to break. And we're going to have a commercial. I don't know what the commercial is, but it's somebody that's paying me money, so we're going to do it. And when we come back, Wine No Wine Show, Fact or Fiction.
Phil and Derek's Restaurant and Jazz Bar, located in the midst of bustling Midtown in Houston. You'll find a laid-back atmosphere and ambiance reminiscent of the comfort of your own living room, coupled with the flair of pizzazz and glitz from live New York-style cabaret entertainment 7 nights a week. Phil and Derek's is not only the ideal restaurant with a great, long-standing wine selection, but also with a full bar as well. Phil and Derek's stock and knowledge of wines from Napa Valley wines, French Bordeaux, Spanish and Argentinian wines, just to name a few, are the envy of wine connoisseurs far and wide. Phil and Derek's Sunday Brunch was voted best morning after brunch for 3 consecutive years. Come indulge in the ample buffet of crepes, omelets, various salads, meats, complimentary mimosas, and much, much more. Enjoy delicious foods from the kitchen until midnight. We're equipped with large dining areas, ideal for every party need, whether business or pleasure. Come see and enjoy all that Phil and Derek's has to offer.
Welcome back to the Whine Show. We're jumping into Fact or Fiction. Guys, today we're talking about the whole Colin Kaepernick situation. Nike, did they make a brilliant move? Didn't they make a brilliant move? I don't know. Y'all are chiming away on the comment feed, and we're going to hit your comments right after the fun new game, Fact or Fiction. I seriously want to get a sponsor to sponsor the Whine Show Fact or Fiction fan, right? A little fan with like the wooden stick, right? And so like when you're talking to somebody and they're like, you know, just telling you something, you're like, really? Go ahead.
Yep.
With the fiction thing. Oh no, I get your point now.
I do this anytime Joseph is talking. I just do this right here. Every time Joseph's talking,
Yeah.
The whole time.
The Whine Show fan, Fact or Fiction
Hey,
fan.
real quick, I
That's
just
why I
want you to
didn't
know.
hand the signs out until now.
It was
Yes.
just a few weeks ago, right, that I made history right here, sitting in that spot, right where you're sitting.
I know.
First
I was
transgender.
was the first ever
First
runner-up
official.
of the Factor. I was the first ever runner-up
You
of
were.
the official contest. That's right. Just
There
so
you
you
go.
know. The winner sat right there, Mr.
Yes.
Eric Scott. Sat right
Eric
where you're
Scott
sitting.
is
You got
now.
big shoes to fill.
Yes. Feel.
This is the lucky chair.
Feel his shoes.
Eric Scott.
This
The
chair
Nike.
inspires you from your butt up to your brain.
Eric Scott was the
I
first
believe
ever.
that.
If you're
I
not
want
first,
that
you're
chair.
last.
Eric Scott was the first official. Hang on, cats, please. Eric Scott was the first official winner of the Whine Show Fact or Fiction segment, and now we're going on week 3 here. So we're going to define who is going to be the new crown champion,
It's gonna be me.
who gets to hold on to the glorious
I like the
trophy.
confidence.
It's gonna be me.
Right.
I like that.
So, we're going to ask a question. You guys are going to hold up your card, fact or fiction. It's an honor system here, guys. So, if you get the answer correct, you stay in. If you get it wrong, you drop out.
Got
All right?
it a little
Very
bit
simple.
more.
Very simple. All right. So, fact or fiction. We're going to start off easy here.
Okay.
Fact or fiction. The Great Barrier Reef is the world's largest coral reef system. All right, everybody, there we go. Fact! That is a fact. Correct. The second largest barrier reef is down south in Central America.
Please.
Yes, and I've been there.
I
so
have too.
Ambergris
It's
Cave.
beautiful.
yeah, it is beautiful. Yes.
Beautiful.
All right. Fact or fiction. Y'all will love this one. Fact or fiction. Germany, Italy, and Korea are known as the 3 Axis powers in World War II. Everybody's standing. That is, of course, fiction. That would be Germany,
Hey, you're,
Italy,
you're
and
in
Japan.
Your answer is only worth 77%, so I don't know if that counts, Joe.
Why?
77%.
Why?
The wage gap.
Another
Okay,
show
that's it.
topic.
No.
You're
That's it.
just
No
you're
more
in
wine.
constant kitten mode over here.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay.
I think he's
I
got
don't
kittens
know.
for brains.
You gotta either.
Gotta kick him up
All right.
the
Wait,
head.
hold on. Wait, I'm listening.
Fact,
Yeah,
Because
there's
his legs
there's
are
cats.
smaller than mine.
Cats.
fact
Yeah.
or fiction.
Here we go.
Fact or fiction. Now we're gonna get harder.
That's what she said.
John,
Gross.
Okay, it went from
We need our HR
13
manager.
to R.
This.
HR.
right there. It is. That's where we need the production crew to go with the bars and the
We need to cut his mic.
off air. Off air.
Here comes the
Next question,
FCC.
next
FCC. Yeah.
Next question. Okay.
Next question. Fact or fiction? John Montague, the inventor of the sandwich, was actually known as the Earl of Sandwich.
No idea. I'm gonna guess.
I got excited because
Everybody else says fact. Oh, fiction.
Fact?
I'll go with fiction with you. I don't know. I have no idea.
She was just convinced by your beard.
That's what it was.
is it
That's
fact?
what it was.
Fact.
Yes.
Fact. The Earl of Sandwich.
Took you down with me. I'm
Bye.
sorry.
It's okay. I don't mind.
I know enough about sandwiches.
There you go.
No, I thought you were a taco man.
No.
Fact or fiction? Norma Jean Mortensen was actually known as Marilyn Monroe.
Son of a.
All right. Well,
Y'all, they're out.
for those of you who are out, you don't have to answer anymore.
I'll just answer for fun.
Oh, we don't have. Oh, we're.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
have to-
y'all
we're
are out.
Oh.
Yeah,
Y'all
we're
are out.
No.
But we
Yes.
can still answer.
I followed
wrong?
you. You
Yo,
screwed
you're so
me.
wrong.
Am I wrong?
You are so wrong.
Don't tell his wife.
If I did, I'm in deep trouble.
Oh no.
All right.
It's fact.
Man.
It is fact.
God dang it, that's such an ugly name though.
Norma
I own
Jean
this chair.
We only made it 4 questions in.
Marilyn Monroe.
Wow. All right.
It's the chair. I'm
It's the
telling you.
chair. It's the chair.
That's a fact.
Norma Jean.
Norma
It's a
Jean.
fact,
So he
Jack.
gets a
Goodbye,
trophy?
Norma Jean.
Trophy?
I get
Yes.
the trophy.
I was singing the chair.
The
Yeah,
chair.
the chair.
No,
Yes.
no. I think you
We have a new crowned,
You're the trophy.
crowned champion.
Oh goodness. I'm the trophy.
You're the
Hang
trophy.
on, hang on. Kittens,
You know,
please.
somebody's
Kittens,
gonna have a real
please.
problem with that. She's watching the show right now.
Is she-
All right. We have a new crowned champion.
My wife.
Oh, you still got some.
Esther.
Ouch. We have a new crowned champion.
Are you serious?
The 2002
The 2002
Texas State finalist
state finalist.
for Best Party Wear.
Yeah. Congratulations.
I would like to thank the Academy. I would like to thank the grain seller.
Yes.
And I would like to thank my 5th grade teacher who used to beat my ass every day
Oh, dang, he
because
said the
I
A
was such a
word.
problem child.
And her
So,
name was also Norma Jean.
no, it wasn't. It was, Ann Kleiner.
Ann Kleiner.
Yeah.
All right, Ann
So,
Kleiner, we
thank
know
you.
you're out there. Congratulations, Steve,
Thank you.
on
Thank
your,
you very
your
much.
crown champion there.
She's probably
All right.
not out there anymore.
All right.
That's the lucky placard, too.
There you
by the
go.
way.
There you go. All right. Fact or fiction. There we go. All right. So we got a lot of comments we got to dive into here. It's the comment chain's been blowing up. David's looking at the comment chain over here. He's just
I'm cheating.
yeah. He's diving in.
It's entertaining.
It is. There's good comments going on. So we had a question about. You brought it up actually before your leg vibrated me off the couch.
Sorry.
Yeah, he
I'm
can't
like,
stop. I feel it over here.
yeah.
too.
I'm like, I can't even hold on to my glass.
You're
Hold
making
on,
me
hold on.
nauseous.
Listen,
I
real
can't
quick.
help. I have strong legs.
I think. Look, I think that this is a moment that we need to bring in the "let it breathe" moment because I think there's some tension being created here by the constant disruption between Joseph and Joe. Joe gets. He gets a little bit upset when there's. I mean, he's like he hears everything, right?
Yes.
So if I'm here tapping on the table,
I can't help it. I move my legs. I can't help it.
story.
I'm sorry.
It's called misophonia for those geeks out there who would like to know. I have a hearing that even in my late 40s has tested in my early 20s.
What?
All right? Now add to that. Add to that.
See what I mean?
Add to that this disorder in your brain where combined with insanely good hearing when you have repetitious sounds, it drives you freaking nuts. So welcome to my world. But
I'm not moving anymore.
Joe is just it's not like sound thing though. This is just I can just feel it. I'm just like it's a constant vibration.
But Joe's
going
a good friend. But anytime I want to get on his
Oh, yeah.
nerves, I don't argue with him. I just sit here.
This
and
is
go like this.
he's a drummer. He's a drummer. I'm trying to have a conversations with him, and it's like he's going to town. He's got a
Only with a lot more rhythm.
yeah, got the drum rolls happening. I'm not a drummer, by the way. I play piano, so there we go. Now that that's settled. I had something in my hand. It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's called a coaster.
All right. Anyway, so we have a lot of comments in the comment feed. Colin Kaepernick, Nike, brilliant move, crazy move. What the hell are they thinking? Geniuses, psychos. What's up? But Joe had a good question, right? Because this question really is centered on Nike. It's not centered on the whole kneeling and should he kneel, shouldn't he kneel conversation. This is centered on really capitalism and an American corporation using this as a comment, or as a marketing campaign, and is it a good idea or not? And the last comment you had about the stock rates, what happened? That's where I really wanted to toss out there. Joe was like, but what's going on with their sales? Dee Franklin, who is a moderator on the show.
What's up, Dee?
She is our token liberal.
I knew that.
OSHA made me.
I read
OSHA made me hire her.
affirmative action.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I had 14 applications,
I knew
but
it.
I had to accept Dee's because she's the liberal.
And like me,
Yeah.
she's actually black too.
Yeah,
Just
exactly,
saying that. Yeah.
exactly.
I
Dee, you
remember.
know I'm playing. Dee is an awesome girl. She's been on our show multiple times, and she's a moderator on the Wine to Wine Show group page. She does a phenomenal job, and she's a great gal. So anyway, I'm just having a little fun.
That's sexy.
Dee said, investors on Robinhood are buying Nike stock 300% more than they are selling, compared to 12% last week. Sahil Padar, the app's data scientist, said Tuesday, quote, investors in Oregon, where Nike is headquartered, are buying the stock 850% more than they're selling.
So I have a
Now,
question.
yeah, I was gonna throw it out. Maybe it's the same question. What I want to know, what I want to know, D, right? What I want to know, D, is right. I love that information, and that is definitely relevant information. I also want to juxtapose that to NASDAQ, the S&P 500, all of the
Dow Jones.
standard Dow Jones, all of the standard measures for
Yeah.
what we're looking at for stock activity, because all of that gets lumped together. So I would love to know that data as well. So if there's
And
somebody
what-
out there that has that.
Well, my question is, what percentage of investors invest through?
Right.
I'm assuming that's what the Robinhood is an investment vehicle,
Right.
right?
It's an app on your phone
It's an
that
app
you
on
can
your
go
phone,
and make
right.
investments. You can buy stock. You can sell stock. Everything about what Dee found, which is factual. I mean, I was going to grab the placard and say it's kind of halfway between fact and fiction on this whole side of the investor thing.
Yeah.
All I can say is the contact that I have within Nike is that they lost their butts 24 hours after that. Now, if this is making up for that, the app itself has to have some trading parameters, the protocols that they actually access within the investing in the market. There are rules, there are things that they can actually fee out of that app. So there's some fudge with the numbers there. If Nike claims that they're doing good, then that friend of mine, when he's looking for the door, that does not bode well for a company, and he's right in the middle of this entire argument.
No, I have a question.
Sure.
So, do these people that are buying these stocks, do they could possibly believe that, hey, once this all blows over, we're gonna get back to where we need to be, right?
They could,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm asking. 'cause
And,
I really
and
don't know.
that's a good point, because that's the basic rule of investing, right? Is buy low, sell high, and Nike
So maybe
just
they're
took a
so
big
maybe
stock.
they're trying to.
Yeah, so
Down point.
So
Five,
first of all,
half a point.
First of all, I
Well-
want to say, D, I don't know who you are, but thank you for putting that out there. But
she's probably the one that last banned you.
you probably can.
Yep.
And first of all, if you,
I wasn't gonna say nothing about that.
I'm
I
sorry.
gotta say-
I found that deeply funny.
I
I'm
gotta
sorry.
say, thank you for posting your
The comment.
statistics and
Yes.
stuff like that. That's really good. But I have the feeling that they are numbers that are trying to be made look better than what they are.
Well, real quick,
That's stuff
in the
exactly
interest of
what
time,
Steve said.
the comment just previous to this one that you had up there, she had said that, where they're ranked 52, Nike's currently the 52nd most popular stock on the brokerage. Well, what that tells me, if they've increased by 850%, and now they're the 52nd most popular stock,
That's not looking.
that's
too
a
good.
very narrow scope, and a big movement within a very small scope.
And
right?
notice-
and
and notice-
even after that movement, sorry, Joe, but
Yeah, go
even
ahead.
after that movement, they're still only at 52.
And notice the
So-
words that are being used, which are what we call buzzwords. Look at the words like skyrocket.
Boom.
That's a
Bingo. You just nailed
that's
it.
an opinion. Skyrocket.
Yeah.
That's semantics.
I mean,
that's,
if I lose-
that's circumstantial. That's a
Exactly.
perspective.
Well, if
That's
you're
a
coming
point
out
of
of
view.
primordial soup, yeah, you're
Exactly.
skyrocketing.
You're skyrocketing. That's, yeah, exactly.
Well, let's see. If my bottle is lying on the floor were to suddenly elevate up through the ceiling, yeah, boy, that's skyrocketing. That would be amazing. But if it only set itself up on the table,
Exactly.
okay. So
I mean,
it's all perspective.
Yeah, actually, they're still down, which is the
Right.
Yeah.
And she did find out some data that says they're
Well, that's
down
very
half
good.
a point. So
It's not. It's
and
not
now,
like some
I have
tragic
a
down, but
question.
it's still down.
So was it really affirmative action that allowed you to put her on the?
No.
Okay.
Well,
No.
so my question on that comes from all that would be is
No, for real, no.
is Robin Hood
No.
Here, seriously, it's my question.
No,
is
she
Robin,
volunteers,
don't be
man.
scared
Just,
of
yeah,
professionals.
Yeah.
is Robin Hood an investment app that appeals to a certain
Demographic.
Because you know there are certain funds like in mutual funds. There's certain funds you can invest in that have an ideological spin to them, right?
can you
Right.
kick it back
Saving
to
the
the first
earth
slide,
or whatever.
please,
you
Mr.
know,
Producer?
I'm wondering if Robin Hood is one of those type applications that it appeals
actually
to that
never
certain
heard of it.
demographic. I've never heard of
I've
it
never
either.
Yeah, neither have I.
Well,
Yeah.
what this sounds like to me is that based upon the way that she was formulating the first slide, her first comment, it sounds to me like when Nike is wait, investors in Oregon. Okay, let's look at the demographics here. Obviously, a lot of the attention is to the millennial community because that is the focus of who's going to be buying their product, which is shoes, athletic shoes.
So a lot of stone millennials
CrossFitting,
are buying Nike.
any kind of thing that they can do. So they're going to be buying a lot of shoes. Old geezers like me, we're going to be buying the orthopedics because we use them to abuse our bodies anyway. So what I'm saying is that
that
millennials can be.
Nike orthopedics. That'd be
What's that
awesome.
orthopedic shoe? There was a shoe that was like known for.
I don't know, but they had like 4 Velcro straps. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
I only
come
got
off it.
one, okay? All right. So anyway, besides that, I'm just saying that the campaign was probably focused on who can we know this is going to impact and hack off a lot of people if we do this. So how do we get beyond this? Do we offer stocks through applications like Robinhood and get the millennials in to come in and just throw 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks onto the stock? It's going to go through the roof. It's going to skyrocket. Okay, it's obviously it's going to do that because millennials love the fight to power kind of a message that this sends through Nike. So it's telling me, David, you alluded to it, you nailed it. You were talking about it from your perspective. I like the whole perspective here, but what it did is it targeted the millennials who were going to balance out this ad campaign because Nike really hadn't had an effective ad campaign since Tiger Woods.
Since Just Do It,
And
really.
what we used to call in golf the putt.
Yeah.
Okay? So Nike executives were looking for the next big punch, and this is the next thing. They were looking for a spokesperson. They, like I said, they could have picked a better person, and they would not have had this negative backlash, and we would not be having this conversation right
Steve, but they're trying to pander to these millennials.
now. Pandering, it's
and these
selling
millennials that don't have, that are either unemployed, living in their mom's basement, and have a degree in lesbian dance.
It's
What the hell are we gonna do? So they're not even buying Nikes. They've been
Well-
shopping at Ross, which is exactly what I do.
Matt, I know we have another comment. You mind if I interject one more point, or you want to go
Nothing wrong
on?
with
'cause-
Let's go to the next comment.
Go to the next comment, and I'll interject from there. I can tell you're wanting to. I can read you, my brother. Go
I still
ahead.
got a story to tell.
All right.
Save it for the end.
Virgil Robinson, another regular guest on the artist edition of the show, phenomenal photographer, great guy all the way around.
What's up, Virgil?
He comments in the group page all the time. He is a celebrity on the page, and
And one of our favorites.
Yeah,
We don't
absolutely.
agree, but we love
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we disagree on all kind of stuff, but I love Virgil. Virgil says, I've been keeping close track of Nike stock these past few days, and the impact has been minimal. Americans only make up a tiny portion of sales globally. The move doesn't and won't have much of an impact either way in the long run. I've only bought a couple pairs of socks and a couple t-shirts, but I'll look for a pair of Nike Seekers when I go to buy.
Sneakers.
What did I say? Oh, sneakers. Yeah,
But
yeah.
he said seekers, but
Yeah.
it's sneakers.
Typo.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, I thought it was like a specific item, and I didn't even think about it. Sneakers. I will hunt for or look for a pair of Nike sneakers when I go to buy another pair. So, here's an individual that's saying, from a grand scheme of things, America only represents a portion of their shares. It's really going to be a blip on the radar. However, he's asserting that he's going to look for, Nike shoes based on their move. So, he's leaning in that way.
There's nothing wrong with that, but is it enough?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't
So-
think it's enough.
here's my take on that, because I'd actually read that comment ahead. I cheated. I admit, Joe. I'm sorry. Here, slap my hand. Go ahead. Okay.
You have a hairy hand.
I do. You don't want to know. I'm not going down that road.
You know what they say?
What do they say?
It's not the palm.
Oh my goodness,
Lordy.
man. Let's go to commercial break once again. No, just kidding. Okay, so I read Virgil's comment, and Virgil, great point, as always. Sometimes we don't agree, many times we don't agree, but it's still a great point. In fact, we haven't had one of those yet on the show, on this one yet. Clinkable moment, right? Virgil, clinkable moment. Good point. I don't agree with you, but clinkable moment. And
First of
Joe's
all-
got to fill up his glass. Hold on,
first of-
Joe.
yeah, I got
I'm in the
you.
middle of a comment here.
First, I'm just gonna say I like Virgil.
Taco Man is still cut off.
I like Virgil because there's a Hall of Fame boxing trainer. His name is Virgil Hunter. Maybe he knows of him. His name is Virgil Hunter. So just for that reason, you get the benefit of the doubt, Virgil. So, yeah.
So, Brittany, just so you know, the clinkable moment is a Wine No Wine show tradition that when somebody makes a point, whether we agree with the point or not, we acknowledge the good point by clinking glasses. So
Nobody-
that's what that
and
is.
just
Are
so
we
you know-
acknowledging Verge?
We're
Just so you
acknowledging
know,
Virgil.
I've never had a clinkable moment, even though I make some good points sometimes. But nobody's ever said, "Hey, Joe, you made a good clinkable moment." So, anyway.
But here's the point that I'm getting at,
Which
is
is
that
basically racist.
one of the things that's really rare on the show is when someone
Oh,
changes a
man.
position, right? We've had that happen a few times. I am the next one. This is what's happening, because
Really?
here's where I'm changing my position, and it's a statement against my hope, right? Joe,
Sorry, go ahead.
jeez.
Sorry.
So it's a statement against my position. I have enough time corralling these cats in my own brain without
Sorry,
dealing with
go
yours,
ahead. I'm
man.
sorry. All right. I'm sorry. I thought only he heard it.
So here's the thing. When you look at companies like Disney, which is tied in with ABC and ESPN and all that, right? This empire was built. Why was the Disney empire built? Because who did they market to? Children, right? You get the children, you got the parents automatically. That's a basic rule in entertainment. I can tell you firsthand. All those years gigging in restaurants, that was what was always going through my mind. Because these people are walking into the restaurant or wherever you're playing, they're not expecting you to be there. And so you could very easily be a nuisance to those people because they just came in there to eat. They didn't want to hear you, right? But man, you got the kids happy, mama's happy. Mama's happy, what's the rule?
Papa's
Everybody's happy,
Yeah.
right? So to Virgil's point, and then even as Steve was making his point, as I was thinking about this, because the global reach, everything else, Nike's not looking at, and this is what I'm convinced of right now, I don't think Nike's looking at what the immediate impact or the controversy they're causing. I think that they're going for this younger audience who will one day be, you're right now, right? The millennials are more unemployed. They're learning some hard realities, post-college, things like that. But the reality is we're dying one day. They're going to outlast us. That's the way it's going to work. And so when you think about that, and this is where my hope against hope comes in, because we need a return to our foundational principles. We need a return to our foundational values. But the reality is what's happening is this radical narrative is taking over. It's that, who was the one, de Tocqueville, that talked about the death of a democracy?
Tocqueville.
Right.
I got his book.
Yeah, that's what we talk about. You get to a point where enough people can vote for the gifts that government can give, and before long you go from prosperity to bondage to slavery. Or, well, same thing, bondage and slavery. But the point is, you're subject to tyranny at that point. And so I'm stating this truth as a hope against hope, that as far as what Nike's doing, I got to change my position. It's probably marketing genius. They'll take a momentary blip. They're big enough to absorb it. I mean, let's say that this whole thing lasts a year. You're Nike. Who cares, right?
Who's
Next
Nike?
time they introduce the next innovation in shoes.
Who's Nike though?
Well, here's what I'm saying. The next time they
Because,
introduce, hold on, Joe.
A boy over here was looking for another job.
But what I'm saying is, he is. That's fine. But the point is
Well,
that
he's
the
not
next
Nike
time,
anymore.
this is what's been proven of the American market as well as the worldwide market. You got the next innovation that you can put out there cheap. You got them. It doesn't matter. You could be, you could be a child molester, serial killer. You produce the cheapest thing out there that's got some modicum of quality, you're going to get them. People are going to buy the cheapest. And so I know I'm taking a long time here, but I'm just making a note that I've changed my position. The immediate impact, probably negative. But long term, past a year, they're just fine.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter.
I can probably take all the things that he said there and condense it down in probably a minute.
That wouldn't be hard to
here.
do.
No,
I admit
actually, Virgil brought up a great point. He looked at the international impact of this. Nike, correctly, is an international company. There are markets out there based upon borders and water and oceans and whatever that keep us apart. They don't give a hoot and a holler about who Colin Kaepernick is and what he has done. The only impact that Nike is going to feel is the market here in the United States. And there are a segment of this population that will remember this conglomeration, okay? They will remember this. There will be some people that will not buy another Nike product from here to hell freezes over, okay? That's not going to happen, okay? But until we really gauge this from what it's really trying to tell us. Does Nike want to own this social justice narrative that Colin Kaepernick brings to this? Okay, I wasn't going to say his name, but dadgummit, you guys forced me into
Well,
it.
you are mispronouncing it, if that makes any sense.
It's Kaepernick. But I just, yeah.
It is going to be remembered just like
Colin
Tommy
Capers.
Hilfiger did is still remembered.
Yeah,
And that was
Colin Kaepernick.
that was way back
I mean,
in
I
the
was
80s,
little.
yeah.
So
Colin
Well, so
Capers in a
I-
can
I-
and stuff.
I want to
But I
say
don't
I want to
think
say
it's
something because I really don't
impact.
care. I really don't care. Like I said, I don't watch
either.
I
love
don't watch
Nikes.
football because football's a gay sport.
Love Nikes.
Nikes are too expensive,
No, they're not.
right? I have
Nah.
one pair of Nikes. And
I
I
got
bought these
6.
freaking Nike socks on freaking
Resell
store was
or-
closing down.
An
But I
outlet.
will say this: since Nike wants to be a company full of chumps, now I will specifically, not because of what they're standing for. That's not what I'm talking about. Not because of that, but because they want to be a bunch of crybabies. Now, because normally when I go buy tennis shoes, I say, hey, those look good, I'll take them. You know. Now, specifically, I will say, hey, those are Nike. I don't even want to buy them because they're a bunch of babies, and I don't like supporting a bunch of babies. I'd rather go for the company.
Okay, let's
that's-
take what Joe says and let's expand upon that a little bit and say, okay, what other products do we know about Tommy Hilfiger? We know about Nike now. That's the latest fad, craze, social media, hurrah. What's the next thing, Joe? What's another product that we know of in our existence that was ostracized from public?
Oh, I just heard recently.
What?
Was it Levi's?
Yeah, Levi's has something
Levi's.
coming out too.
Yeah.
They're coming out
I don't even own a
anti-gun.
pair of Levi's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Levi's is coming out anti-gun, apparently. They're
Oh,
coming out for
anti-gun,
gun,
yeah.
gun control.
Anti-gun.
Dick's Sporting Goods
Anti-gun.
with the anti-gun.
Oh, have you seen how their sales have dropped down?
Chick-fil-A, but minimal.
Chipotle had the
Chick-fil-A for what?
Chick-fil-A,
Yeah, have you
It's not
seen
being
what
good.
happened
but
with
Chick-fil-A had the opposite.
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A
had the opposite.
No,
Yeah.
the thing about Chick-fil-A is the guy said, "Look, I don't think it's right for gay people to get married." And all these gay people decided, "Oh my God, Chick-fil-A is horrible."
But
And there were people
Very
that
religious.
showed up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to eat Chick-fil-A, and
I
they
have-
didn't see not one
I have
negative mark.
never in my life experienced anything like it because I worked like 200 feet from a Chick-fil-A. I eat there all the time, and when that was going down, I was like not even thinking about it. I went to lunch, and there was literally a line of like 300 people outside the building, down the side of the building,
It's big.
and I got in line like. This is a crazy lunch rush. What's going on? You know?
That's what it was.
And everybody was talking about it. Oh, we're out here supporting, but And I've never stood in a line of 300 people at a fast food place where everybody was so cheery and happy and like, you know.
that's just because he gave his freaking honest opinion, man.
Well, and also was
So-
the subject to so many attacks
Yes,
in the aftermath.
So let me flip that around. Like I was going there with that for a specific reason.
Chick-fil-A is good, by the way.
If Nike, because I really posed this question to kind of delve into Nike's mindset and what they were up to with the question, with the statement that they were making, right? And Chick-fil-A took a stance. The owner of the company put his money where his mouth is, where, you know, about his beliefs on marriage. And the result of that was that society kind of rallied behind them by and large, and it was a boon for them, right? But are we beating up on Nike for doing the same thing just because it's something that we don't agree with?
No, because you're letting the market decide. Like, if the guy at Chick-fil-A said, hey, I completely support gay marriage, I would still eat there. I really don't care. So you let the market decide.
True story. I mean, they could pretty much.
I really don't care, man.
They could pretty much be slaughtering kittens on
I don't
live
care.
stream TV
I really
around
don't
the
care.
clock. I'm still going to be eating
The
it.
cat
Chick-fil-A.
juggler.
Yes,
Exactly.
Joe.
I do not
Flaming cats, you know, on fire, juggling them. I'm like, yeah, but their Chick-fil-A sandwich is so good. I mean, they're evil. They're evil. But I love their sandwich. The number one is fantastic.
I get the number.
He really has brought up a couple of good points, and I'm actually pretty impressed with this. He brought up.
Yes.
I'm not as
thing
stupid
called-
as I look,
I mean,
Steve.
you didn't say the.
Or sound.
Well, I'm trying to help you, man. So
Joseph.
go with it. All right.
Stop interrupting,
All I'm
Joseph.
saying is that Joe Mankato brought up the free market. Free market is going to dictate what people are going to do. And if they do something stupid, they're not going to make the sales. If they do something great, man, it's going to be like Chick-fil-A every day.
Well,
So,
But
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
but I'm asking a question beyond
Sorry,
that.
Steve.
I'm asking a question
Let's
beyond that,
take it
right?
deeper.
Because
That's what she said.
I'm a capitalist 100%, man. I believe
No.
we've had this conversation before, like the cake baker in Colorado, whatever else. I'm literally the owner of this shop, the grain seller, where we are super thankful to be and hanging out. Shameless plug.
And we got a free
High
volunteer.
five. High five behind the screen there. Yeah. Right? I was having this conversation earlier. I'm kind of an extremist, really, when it comes to the free market. I'm like, look, if you want to be a horrible, racist, whatever, right? Fine. If it's your private business, do whatever the hell you want. And if you have enough people that are willing to shop with you and sustain you, great. But I tend to think that the market's going to rule out and you'll be out of business.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
And so kind of that's where I'm going with this with Nike. If Nike's really taking a stand that they believe, again, whether I agree or disagree doesn't matter. If they really believe that the police and our justice system and the government and whatever else, there's systemic racism, and they're saying this is an issue and we don't care about all of y'all's opinion, we believe this is an issue, and we are celebrating this guy for taking a stand, and we know it's unpopular, then I'm coming to the place of freaking kudos for you. Rock on, brother.
Yeah.
Do your thing. All right? I celebrate genuineness. My, what's it called? Skepticism and cynicism. There we go.
Cynicism is about
My cynicism says they just ran the numbers. They know who pays $300 for a pair of shoes and who will stand in line for 5-6 days
Kill each other.
to buy a pair of shoes, and that's who they're marketing this to.
Listen, I just have to say, it just slays me how many times you go down this track that I've got the same thing brewing in my mind, because it's almost
You guys are meant to be together.
I'm being if I were for gay marriage, Joe Orsak and I would be walking down the aisle. Okay.
That's about right, yeah.
Only because we agree on everything. I know that's gross, right?
On this side.
Okay.
Very.
So here's the thing. I'm going to try to put my point in a different light, because you're right. I was kind of getting there. Okay. What I'm
Virgil
saying.
had a great comment, by the way, which we
Yes,
need
it
to-
was.
Yeah, we
It
need
was
to go back to
fantastic.
Well, the thing that I'm saying is that it actually saddens me. But if I were someone who were making that decision for Nike, and even with my convictions, which you guys are well aware of, you know where I stand. I call myself a constitutionist. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I call myself a constitutionist. I want to see the United States of America return to our foundational principles that we are all created by God, equal with unalienable rights, and that the only purpose of government is to make sure that those rights are safe and secure. Right?
And you're saying this because you oppose what Colin Kaepernick is.
Bear with me. Let me air it out. Okay. So
standing for.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that even with my convictions and my beliefs, if I'm sitting in Nike's chair and looking at making this decision, it saddens me, but there is an undeniable amount of evidence showing that this is the direction we're going.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. That's
And
my
the guys who
that's
believe,
my cynicism. And
the guys who believe is. I mean, and that's to say the same thing you said. They're not judging it based on right or wrong.
Yeah.
They're not judging it based on truth or fiction. Right? They're not. They're wherever those signs went. They're not judging it. They're not going, hey, is Colin Kaepernick representing this or this? They're not saying that. You like that? That was a good use of props, wasn't it? The point is that they're looking at market. They're going, here's what we need to do to make money. And if we do this, do you think for a second they haven't run all kinds of scenarios that judge the impact of this decision? And I'm sure that what they've concluded is we're going to take a hit. Next 6 months to a year, it's going to hurt. We're going to take a gut punch. But 2 years, 5 years, 15 years down the road, we're riding high on the hog. Because the reality is that even if it becomes so apparent that this Black Lives Matter narrative is exactly, is the lie that I believe it to be, Nike can always come back and go, we were just trying to take a stand for equality.
A noble stand.
We were just being noble.
I have a question.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
What is Virgil getting at right here?
Oh, so the audience doesn't know because we haven't read it yet. Virgil chimed in and said, Virgil Robinson said, where's the huge lines at Chick-fil-A now?
They're still there?
Stocks weren't affected either way in the long run. It probably boosted sales, if anything. I don't approve of what the owner thinks and feels, but it's a privately owned company, and he can say whatever he pleases.
So what's his point?
Right? And
Statement.
so his point
Is
is...
this a statement?
Well, wait a minute, Joe.
Yeah, I was going to say his point is...
I'm Joe.
What I was saying with the stance earlier, if Nike was genuinely taking stand, then kudos to them, right? They can say whatever they want. The difference between Nike and Chick-fil-A is that one's publicly traded, one's privately traded. And for me, there's a big difference between the two, right?
Okay.
Well, there's also a more regional appeal, right? I mean, Chick-fil-A is not nationwide, is it?
They are nationwide.
Yeah,
Are they?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Actually,
they're a franchise-based
actually, the most profitable fast food chain.
Yeah.
And they outpace McDonald's almost 4-1.
They do.
But
on
they
profit.
kind of crossed that line I mentioned earlier. Like as an entertainer,
Yeah, right.
if I say who I am, I might lose some people that might be willing to hear me sing, but they're going to follow me because of what I stand for.
Right.
Right. Chick-fil-A sort of crosses that line where they're not an entertainer, but they have a very loyal following because it's very well known that they're a company that extols Christian values, and their founder is a very well-known Christian. So it's kind of more of a loyal following that they have developed. That's more of a true organic growth, not a fad.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
100% in line.
Nor should you, because I'm always right.
I will just say as a caveat on the side, I honestly think, and this kind of goes to your point, tying it back to Nike, I think Chick-fil-A delivers a superior experience.
Yes.
Period. Right? Forget Christian, not Christian, whatever. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people who go through their line that doesn't know who Truett Cathy is. They have no clue.
You mean there's gay people going through the drive-thru going, Give me the club.
Right. Because
You jerks.
so look.
They still eat it.
So check it out.
That's right.
Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes.
And
Behind the scenes.
Can you put it in a plain white bag?
After the protest, they went, drove around, they got the Chick-fil-A.
Put it in a plain white bag. Don't put your logo on.
Right. Maybe that's the next angle for Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
Right.
Dude, I'm
The
telling you.
unbranded bag. Would you like the plain white bag, sir, or the with the full branding?
Chick-fil-A
Or for the
experience.
Christians,
Chick-fil-A
the
experience.
Christians
With the
go through
cross.
it. Give me the one with the cross.
Right. Right. That would be brilliant.
Can we take a restroom break?
Chick-fil-A, you
we're
owe
wrapping
us.
up, man.
Let's wrap it up because I got a
We're
story
wrapping
to
up.
tell real quick.
All right. So, but my point is that they deliver a superior product, and
Superior.
they absolutely have an experience where, I mean, name a fast food place where you go in and they're always
They
smiling.
treat you like kings.
Yes. I mean, literally,
Telling
they
you.
know your name.
I
would-
think they do it right here at the grain cellar.
They do it right here in the grain cellar.
They
That is
do.
a great setup.
You just earned yourself like a 25.
The CEO from Southwest Airlines, where the interviewer said, I've got to ask you, how do you get all of your staff, all of your employees to smile all the time? Your staff is always smiling. Like, what kind of training do y'all do? And Herb Keller was looking at him like he was a moron. He had this kind of sideways tilted head, and he goes, "We only hire people that smile." Like, huh? Keller. Extra H. That one is definitely on the wine, because I knew that.
And I knew that. I was just trying to help you
Yes.
out. Suddenly where no
Kelleher.
one would notice.
Hey, some people say realtor. I say
That's right.
Keller. I take
Could
an
you
A
imagine-
out.
Could you imagine if Kelleher was a realtor?
I take an A out.
Oh my
Just
God.
at Liberty, right? Anyway, my point is that I believe that the culture of Chick-fil-A is conducive to their success. But my point is, going back to Nike, is that, again, if they're taking a stance from a position of genuineness, from a position of, like, we really believe this,
Yeah.
then shout out, I'll give them a high five, whether I agree with them or not. That, to me, is brilliant business.
But your point is you don't think that's what they're doing.
But my point is, I think from my cynical worldview, I think they're just looking at the.
We agree.
Yeah,
We
I just
agree.
think they're looking at the bottom line and making a calculated move. They really could care less about Colin Kaepernick's vision.
Kaepernick.
Both of them.
I think of the little green little dots they put.
They don't
in
care.
the cape.
They don't care about either of those guys. They're- all right, that's a great point to wrap
I
up.
gotta piss.
And
Jesus Christ.
We need a pee
So
bomb.
bad.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks a lot.
hey, with the
Joseph.
JC thing.
I
All
mean,
right,
Jesus help
All right.
us all.
all right. Jesus.
Hey,
Where's
sir.
your mom when we need her, man?
She's watching
Wow.
the damn show, and you know
I
what?
love your mom.
She actually likes you, by the way.
I want you to know,
he's
your
a
mom is
handsome
awesome.
Man. He's a handsome man. Hey, he's ugly as hell. He stinks too.
You know
This
what?
is the point
Your
where
mom
I've
has
lost
good
control
taste.
of the show.
No. Listen, Joe. I'm going to work Joseph
We're
for a date with his mom.
I
I don't
know,
care if I'm married
right?
or not. I'm taking your mom out for dinner. Call me daddy right now. You can call me daddy right now.
She's cheap because she likes Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
Hey, done.
Okay, I'm
Done.
done.
I'm good.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the show. We-
Son.
It's back there.
Go
to
to
the
your
right.
room.
Oh, my stomach hurts now. I've been laughing.
Oh,
too
that's
hard.
making the highlight reel right there.
Yes.
Come on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning in for the show.
Spilling wine again.
I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the show and being
If
a
you
part
could
of the
say
show.
that with wine coming through your nose, that would be awesome, dude.
Right.
That would make such a great meme.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Mame.
We will be on tomorrow at 2 p.m. First time ever. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. for the brand new, first ever edition, The Art of Dispute.
What an awesome name.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It is a great name. The
Am I on
art.
for that?
No.
It's gonna be
Oh
hard.
God! I can't believe. Oh,
Are you showing up tomorrow? Did like
I would be here in a heartbeat.
So we're having a show called The Art of Dispute. It's going to be downtown. We're downtown
Oh, that's even better.
in an art studio.
Oh,
Got like
Awesome.
art hanging up on the wall. It's really freaking cool.
I
I mean,
got-
listen.
Awesome.
a suit just.
It's
for that.
been nothing new. It's the Wine to Wine Show Artist Edition. It's just rebranded The Art of Dispute. It's coming to TV.
Oh,
We're going to continue to have live music.
That's the big news
Yes.
right there. That's awesome stuff.
Yep. We're going to have a TV show, and the show just continues to grow. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and YouTube. Just Google, look up The Wine No Wine Show. You'll find us. And on Instagram, we occasionally go live. I don't know if we should go live. It's just been such a weird.
This would be a neat group.
It would. It would. There was a lot of fun stuff, and I think there's really some more stuff here. There really is.
Let's
There
do
is.
it.
We've had some good comments.
Brittany's got something
Dad.
she's cooking up, I'm sure. Yeah,
she's about ready to blow up.
she
I
is.
can
She's new, and
She's
there's probably some things that she's been waiting to say. So
Right.
we're going to air it out. We're going to let you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
That would be great.
We're all stubborn and obstinate and overbearing and all that. You gotta rise up and put us in our place.
I can
We don't-
assure
we don't-
you-
Next time I got it.
No,
I can
do it
assure
now.
you I'm going to be eating pizza regardless
now.
because I'm hungry.
He doesn't speak.
We will be on
I'm
tomorrow at
sorry.
2 o'clock live.
You're the worst.
I am not.
Don't even go there.
I am not.
I lost control again.
I'm sorry.
right,
It's
I'm
gotta
sorry,
take
Joe.
more
Okay.
times now.
I know.
It's pretty bad.
I'm
All right,
just
let's finish it up.
trying to wrap up.
I'm done.
Do like I do to my children.
All right.
Be quiet.
You see what I deal with. This is
First
what
of
happens
all-
when you let people
Quiet.
drink.
First of all,
Quiet. Let them go.
Thank
Quiet.
you
I
for
love
tuning in to the show. We will be here tomorrow at 2 p.m. on the Artist Edition, now formerly known as the Artist Edition, now The Art of Dispute, which will be coming to TV really soon. We'll
Such
see you tomorrow at 2 p.m.
The Art of
We're out!
No,
The
no,
Art
no,
of
no, no.
Dispute!